and then we need Yul to come. I don't know where he is, but for the school platform. Okay, so you guys, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but we're going all in on the school platform because we really like it. And one of the things I am asking you to do, like for the parents, like it's nice, but I don't care so much. But like for the swimmers, I'm asking you to engage on the school platform. Now, does anybody have an idea why I'm doing that? Like, raise your hand. Switch to gallery. Raise your hand. Well, like, why am I asking? Yeah, Tis, go for it. Why am I doing that? There's a reason for it.
So we have a community. We have other peoples that we can support and they can support us. And we have so when you have bad times or you had a tough day, you can go on school and see how the other people support you, and you can support them, and it makes you happy. You have more energy.
Yes. Okay. So you captured it really well, right? The the idea is that who's had that experience? Hold on, I gotta go to gallery again. Who's had that experience that you go into a competition and you swim an individual event, let's say in the morning, and in the afternoon you swim the same individual event, and in the morning, sorry, scratch this. In the morning you have an individual event, and you bomb it. It's not going well. And then in the afternoon you swim that same event again in the relay, and all of a sudden it's going really well. Who's had that experience? I had it many, many times. Raise your hand if you had it. Okay? And everybody else, okay. And people who haven't had it, did you not swim relays, or have you had that experience where you're in a relay and you swim super, super fast? Yes or no? Why is that? Why do we happen to swim really fast in relays, even though on the same day we may have messed up like an individual event? Because it's about, and like the funny thing is, when you think about it, the funny thing is, there should actually be more pressure in a relay because you're racing for your teammates, you're racing for the club, you're racing at the big level, you're racing for a whole nation. And so the pressure is, if you mess it up, you mess it up for a lot of other people, right? Even like a whole nation. So it's it's a paradox that we have more pressure, but we swim faster. Right? So doesn't that make any sense? But it does make sense when you really think about it, because we do it. The difference is when we're swimming for ourselves, we do it for ourselves. And then we're in our own way. In a way, we self-sabotage. And then when we're in a relay, we make it about other people. And in the moment, the millisecond we make it about other people, we are no longer in our own way. And then we swim freely, even though there is more pressure. And like for you guys, for life, the fastest way to get unstuck in life is to not always make it about me. Make it about other people. Serve other people, help other people, encourage other people, and it will make you, as T said, exactly right. It will make you happier, because believe it or not, like if you give more, you will receive more, you'll be happier, and you actually get to the result that you want faster. Okay, so give more, and that's why everything that you and I are doing, there's a purpose behind it, right? Yes, it helps the algorithm for us on school to rank high and all that, but I don't give a shit about that. It's about you, and I just know if you're engaging in the school platform, you're sharing what you have learned, you're encouraging others, you give support, you like share your wins, your struggles, and all of that, right? You will get more, and it will build your confidence. It really is as simple as that. And that's why I'm asking you to be on the school platform. And like, besides like making friends and all that, and it's pretty cool if you come on camp, right? You have like, you've had like interactions and you get to know people and stuff. But it's really about getting unstuck and making it about other people. And like, that we can like represent the Swimpros team. Does that make sense? Okay, it's one of the fastest and easiest way. And by the way, for those guys, you know, sometimes speaking like older guys, and they're stepping up into what we call like a role of a team leader or a team captain. Imagine, or like I've asked many of you already in practice, when you're in the main set, and let's say you have 4 rounds and you're in round 3 and it really hurts. The best thing that you could do, one of the best things you could do is like in that short break, go to the guy or the girl next to you and be like, come on, man, we got this. Why? Because you're giving motivation to that person. And guess who's going to be the last person? If you tell somebody, come on, man, we got this. Guess who's going to be the last person who will quit? You. Because it's part of human nature to wanting to be consistent with what we just said. Okay, so if you just motivate somebody else, you encourage them, you motivate them, that is good. But at the same time, you will have more energy because you're going to be the last. You can't tell somebody, okay, come on, let's go, and then push off and be lazy. It's not that. It doesn't work like that. That's why I'm saying make it about helping, supporting, encouraging, educating, guiding, coaching other people, and you will get more out of this. Make sense? And that's why I'm like encouraging you to be on the school platform. Like you don't have to be there every day, but like what we notice is, and we speak to lots of parents and like just have a lot of experience ourselves. If you go on social media and stuff, it's not really a confidence builder, guys. It really isn't. But like the school platform is, especially when you contribute. And like, believe it or not, like I'll look at your face and you probably think, yeah, but what can I contribute? Don't self-censor yourself. Contribute, give, share your thoughts, even if it's like not the same opinion, whatever. There's a conversation going on, okay? But I want you all to like do that. I can't force you to it, but like it's always been my dream to create a social media platform that is fun, that builds confidence instead of destroying it. Okay, and so we're gonna have like lots and lots of reminders. And so what I want to do is we have this. We'll just keep this post here. Give me a second. I'll show you. I just want everybody who's in this training to afterwards, whenever you want, to just go in this. We'll just keep this here. We'll post a recording on that as well. Just go here in the comments and then write down one thing that you've learned today that you're gonna use in the taper. Okay, or in those next 2 or 3 weeks. And when you actually came up with the idea, hey, let's do like a and I'm gonna hand over to you in a second because he's gonna run the training. Like he had the idea to run that training. I thought it's great. And we know that a lot of your coaches don't taper you yet, not like a real full taper, and that's okay. It's something to look forward to. That's all I can say, because when you're like getting a full taper, like your world is gonna get rocked. Like how smooth and amazing you feel, right? But there are still a couple of things that you can take away, that you can change in your focus, how you recover, and what you do to make the most out of those last 1, 2, or 3 weeks before that big competition before Christmas, right? Then you go to Christmas, you eat a lot, get fat, and then come to camp, or you go back to training. Make sense? And with Yul, he's probably one of the best people who could teach you this stuff, because I've seen him, like the guys who went to camp in Sweden, it was like I couldn't make it because I had like I was giving keynotes and stuff here, so I couldn't make it. But like he went with a couple swimmers. How many was it? Like eight swimmers, 6, 8, something like that.
Eight swimmers, yeah.
And like they were like swimming so fast, all of us, faster than they ever have, and it was just like. So he knows a lot about getting the most out of you in a very focused amount of time. And so he structured the training for today. He will run it. And I'm just like asking you to use, even if it's just one thing that he says, and then apply it in your swimming, right? There might be multiple things. There might be one that you're most excited about, and maybe you like take notes and you do all of it, but at least take one thing and use it, and I promise you, you are going to do better before Christmas. Okay, and then you'll enjoy Christmas more. It'll just be good for the whole setup for the 2026 season. Okay, so Yule, I think I said everything, gave an intro at school and stuff. So if you want to take it away,
Sure. Thank you very much for that. So, hello everybody. Want to welcome. Obviously, David already welcomed you to this training about tapering. And as David has mentioned, I guess a lot or some of you guys I know do not actively taper yet. I know others do. Um, and still we wanted to have this, kind of this talk about because there's a lot of stuff that kind of comes together in a full taper. And if you can just use like, one of these things or like mm, a couple of these things for to get ready for like your next big meet, that that would already it can already help you a lot to kind of get into that rhythm when it comes to being performing at your best right that you can do right now without having a full taper, right? So obviously, I'm still gonna add this. I didn't know if I wanted to say this or not, but a taper is not as important when you're age 14, right? It gets the older you get, the more important it becomes, just because obviously, you know, if I compare what me and David used to swim when we were, 18, 19 to what you guys are swimming now, obviously we did a lot more and probably more intense. So our bodies needed that extra recovery before, an important meet. Um, but still, there's something to be said about energy retention and all of that. And we'll get into that in this call. I mean, we have 45 minutes. I don't think it's gonna take that long, but still. So first off, what is the goal of a taper? Does anybody have any suggestions? I don't know. David, can they unmute?
yeah, they can. You can just, I guess, like just raise your physical or your electronic hand, and then you can call them out. They should be able to unmute.
Yeah, so does anybody have an idea what the goal of a taper is? Like number one goal. If not, I'm just gonna pick somebody and you're gonna have to tell me because I mean I see a couple of faces here, people who
Do it,
know.
dude.
Oh,
Do
A-
it. Cold call. Cold call. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Amy actually has her hand raised, so go ahead.
Um, I want to say like to get you into race mode, but also that you don't overwork yourself before your next competition.
Right. So would you say that all of the other trainings are not getting you into race mode?
No, just like to prepare, to prepare you a little bit better. I don't know.
You're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong, right? It's a correct answer, right? So valid point. Okay. Who's next? All right. Random. Ari.
Is it like to not fatigue your muscles going into the competition so that then, and also to get the feel of the water leading up to it? So when you go in and you're in your race suit and things, it feels smooth and you feel good in the water as well as being fresher.
Right. So feeling good in the water, for sure. Good point, right? Then also you don't want to be as sore, so recovery, right? You want to be recovered coming in. Does anybody have anything else? So I'm just gonna kind of come back to what Amy said, right? You want to be ready for that competition as ready as you can be. So what else would kind of work into that? Okay. Who is next? Um, who is next? Chloe, we're gonna test your English skills. Yeah, okay. So what do you think is important?
Yes, I don't know because I don't taper with my team, and Yes, I don't know.
Okay,
Wait.
cool. Never mind. Okay, so I'll just go into the training, right? So for me, the most important part about tapering is getting into that competition rhythm. So if I know that, obviously, we used to taper for big events. So we would know exactly when, our first big race would be, which would be mostly like Thursday morning, 10:30 a.m. I would have the 50 butterfly, right? So I would want to warm up in the long course pool. The warm up closes at 9, right? So I will do it closed at 8:45. So I would do from 8:15 to 8:45 a warm up in the big pool, right? Because that's where I want to have my water field. I'll get to that later. That means I'm gonna wake up probably around 6 a.m. that day. So tapering is super important that I get my body if my body is not used to waking up at 6 a.m. I want my body to get used to waking up at 6 a.m. How do I do that? These 4 weeks leading up to that competition, I want to be waking up at 6 a.m. every day. Doesn't matter where it's Sunday, whatever, but so that my body does not go into shock mode when I have to wake up at 6 a.m. if it's used to waking up at 7 or 8 or 9, right? Does that make sense for everybody? So I'm getting my body into rhythm for the competition. And sleeping rhythm is hugely important because if you're used to getting up an hour later at 7, it will take your body those it will take your body longer than your warm up to actually get full blood flow going. And what I mean with full blood flow is not that your heart is not pumping blood into your veins. What I'm meaning is, there's always there's this 1 hour, 1.5 hour period where you're still kind of dizzy, you're getting up, your body is starting to move. It's like when you have a car, right? I'm a car enthusiast. People who know me, they know. But if you have a car and it's sitting around, right? Even overnight, you turn it on. That oil needs to move through the engine, a couple of seconds before you can start running it, right? And same thing happens with us humans, right? So if I'm used to getting up at 7, my body, and then from one day to another, I'm waking up at 6. You can try it out. It will hurt. Not because you didn't sleep 8 hours or whatnot. It's just because your body's not used to it, right? Doesn't mean we can't do it. It's just gonna, it's gonna take that extra time to get us up and running, right? So number one thing for me, and this is something that I think most people don't do or overlook, is getting ready with the competition schedule.
Yul, could we have them drop in the chat if you know when you're racing and take the big meet, the one you might have multiple, but take the most important one that you have before Christmas and pop it in the chat at what time that you're racing. And if you don't know, then there's then write down, I'm gonna figure it out tonight, or I'm gonna figure it out, or whatever, right? But so if that's the first thing, that is what you need to figure out, and it's easy figure out a bull, right? Because these yeah, maybe Balkan countries sometimes a bit weird and stuff, but at least right in kind of in the West, they should have the start time at least of the competition ready, right? When warm up is, they will know that. Okay, so drop it in the chat, and if you don't know, drop in the chat. You don't know, and you're gonna figure it out. Okay, it's an easy one to hit.
Super important that you know. Me, David, for sure as well, Chavic, all of these guys, we knew exactly when we would warm up, race, warm up, second warm up, race, swim down. Those times, they were regulated. This was not just, guesswork. No way. You knew exactly, okay, I'm going to get up exactly at 6 or at 5:45 or at 6:30. Whatever the competition was, You knew when you're getting up. You knew when you had breakfast. You knew what you had for breakfast, which we'll get into later. Right? Right. So there you go. Cool. That's competition rhythm. Get your body ready for that. Super important. Number 2, energy retention. Right? So you want your body to to maintain, or actually to regain as much energy as possible for that meet. Again, big meets, usually you swim more than at small meets. Not in terms of you swim more races, but you have prelims, semifinals, finals. Swiss Nationals is only prelims and finals. But still, obviously, you have, even if you do one race a day, you still end up swimming 2 races per day over a period of 4 or 5 days. You end up with 10 races, right? So we need that energy to maintain that energy levels. We need to keep them high. Obviously, we want to be able to explode on competition day. And also we want to be able to bring that energy up until that last race that is on Sunday afternoon. Is usually a 4 times 100 freestyle, which I love. And so, if your energy is down by then and you come to a 4 by 100 freestyle, your best time is a 50 point something, and you end up swimming a 53 because, well, guess what? You're tired. Your tapering was not great, right? Okay, energy retention. And the next one, I think Ari said it, feel great, right? So during tapering, you want to feel the best you felt in your entire season, right? Or your entire season leading up to this, right? Your butterfly, your freestyle, your breaststroke, your backstroke, every stroke should feel great. And if it doesn't, your training should aim, or whatever you do should aim at getting you back to that point where you feel great in the water. And it's not just in the water, it's also outside the water. Any questions up to here? This is goal of the taper. Questions in the chat? Did you see any? No?
No,
Okay,
there's I think so far. I mean, if you guys have questions, just pop them in the chat and stuff. I'll read them to you.
Yeah. Or just, raise your hand, whatever.
Oh yeah.
There's a button for that. Cool. Good. Okay, so I kind of the way I organized this call is obviously started with goal of taper. We did that. Next thing I want to go into is recovery, schedule, meaning your own schedule, like what you should look at after, then your trainings, and that's pretty much it. So let's get into recovery. And as Milorad said in the call that we had with him, 2-3 weeks ago, whatever, what is the most important part of recovery? Nutrition, right? Did everybody see that call? Everybody who is in this call should have seen that call with Milorad. Most important part of recovery is nutrition. Timing, what do you eat? How much do you eat? Okay. We cover nutrition in our entire course, right? I mean, you guys who are in the course, you know that we spend a lot of time talking about nutrition, right? So why do I have it listed here? There's certain things that need to be changed during tapering, okay? So usually in tapering, you are going to decrease the amount of swimming that you will do, or the amount of training, which means your glycogen reserves are going to be less attacked, right? This is very important for the sprinters out there, less so for the mid-distance distance swimmers, because usually they don't decrease, their kilometers as much as sprinters do, okay? But for the sprinters out there, I'm just going to say this. If you decrease your training volume from 4 kilometers to 2, or from 5 to 2.5 or 3, whatever, you're doing 2 kilometers less per training, you need less carbs to refuel your glycogen reserves, and you need more protein to be able to support your muscles for those fast fibers. You'll be doing a lot more sprinting. Your muscles will break more often. You need to increase. I'm not talking about by don't do any carbs at all, right? Like the formula still is the same, like carbs right after training, that still is the same. I'm talking about the main meals, right? Main meals, you'll want to decrease your carbs accordingly, um, increase your protein a bit, and increase your carb intake through greens, green veggies, and fruit. Okay. Questions? Make sense? Good. Okay. The why also makes sense, right? Everybody got that? Did I not miss out on that? Good, cool. Okay. Next part of recovery, sleep, right? We want to be at 8 to 9 hours of sleep every day. Like, I get that there are days where you cannot do it. In tapering, there's no such thing as a day where you cannot sleep 8 to 9 hours a day. Okay? So if in tapering that doesn't exist. In tapering there's no such thing as an excuse, hey, I have too much homework, whatever. No. You know what? Miss all of the parents, please, don't listen to this. But
Dude, say it.
miss
I had the same thought, dude. I had the same thought. Just say it. It's okay. You're fine. It's okay.
miss all the exams that you have to until after that competition. I don't care. Like go to the doctors, I don't know. I don't know what you need to do. But there's a time to not sleep or to sleep less. It's not during tapering, right? Those 4 weeks, again, we're talking about 4 weeks. You do this maybe 2 times a year, right? Usually during these 8 weeks, so which is like it's 1 month and a couple of days, right? Almost 2 months. Um, yeah, your mind needs to be swimming, competition, sleep, eat, sleep, feel good in the water. Okay.
And you, that's also something that we talked about. I think it was like 2 weeks ago, to lock in and just make, if you want to, right? Nobody's making, you have to make the choice to make swimming your number one priority for those 2, 3, 4 weeks leading up to that competition. And unless you're like in danger of getting kicked out of the school because you got shit grades, there's like, the world will still spin if you bring home a B plus instead of an A plus. Okay, your parents are not gonna kill you. It's gonna be okay, right? But like, stick to that schedule and just prioritize swimming if it is important to you, and then you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
You'll be more than fine.
Yeah.
And by the way, put your phone away and you'll be able to sleep 8 to 9 hours easily every night, even with doing your homework and going to church and whatever you do. All right, cool. Any questions to this? Clear? Yeah, good. Okay.
It really is just a priority thing. It like,
It's all it is.
and I told you that story when I needed to do things in my business, and I would always tell my wife that I didn't have time, and she got so like tired of me like complaining that I didn't have time. She took my phone, went into the settings, and she's like, "Oh, look, you got like 5 hours on Instagram every week and like 4 hours on YouTube. I guess I just found you time." And I was like, "Well, shit, yeah, right." So it's a priority thing. If you want to make it work, you make it work, and otherwise, it's not high enough priority for you. Okay, so the ball is in your court, right? We're giving you the tools, but like, we can't force you to do it. We just share what the pros do. Okay, cool.
It's always your choice, right? We're just telling you what needs to be done in order for, if you follow these steps, no way you will come to the competition and feel like shit.
Can I ask a question?
Izzy, please go ahead.
Yeah, what if we don't decrease our kilometers in trainings?
Again, that's what I mean from the beginning is if you're not there yet, if you're not at the tapering yet, that's fine. Just use everything around it. The only thing that changes for you up to now is you won't change your nutrition, right? Because you're not decreasing your sets or whatever, your kilometers. But other than that, just make sure you get your sleep and make sure you can get the other steps correct that I'm about to go into. Right?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
If you're not decreasing your kilometers, you're not doing a real taper. Right? I mean, especially you, because like your favorite stroke's 50 butterfly. You should probably be swimming like 2K.
Nah, we swim 4 till the very end.
Yeah, okay. I mean, you know, there you go. Good. Okay. So the next thing on my list, schedule. We talked about schedule a bit earlier, right? So competition rhythm. So and what I wanted to make sure that you understand with schedule is do not change when you're training, right? Like don't change hey, you know what, my Monday morning training, I'm gonna start not going there, right? Because this competition is coming up, whatever. I need to decrease my trainings that I'm doing. Don't. Your body will get disrupted. Okay. You've been doing this for whatever, a year, 1.5, 6 months, it doesn't matter. Don't start leaving out trainings that you usually have. That's not tapering. Okay. Is that clear for everybody? Good. So schedule, again, the important part here is you want to get your body used to when you're waking up, when you're going to be eating, when you're going to be swimming at the competition. Obviously, you cannot change, you know, your training schedule, whatnot, but your eating habits, all of those for those 4 weeks, you can change them easily. That's, I mean, nobody can tell me that's difficult, right? Cool. Yeah, so trainings keep the schedule. Obviously, keep. You want to keep the schedule as it is going to be for the competition, and you want to have those 8 to 9 hours for sure. Good. So, any questions here? No. Yes. No.
Just the Leo Marchand before his 400 IM in Paris, right? When he went, like when he did the world record, he swam. He slept 11 hours. So he didn't like, to tell you the full truth. Like I don't know what he did the days leading up to it, but I would assume that he got a lot of sleep. But just saying, like the night. So if he, what I'm thinking is, if he got like 10 to 11 hours before, he probably did that for the like period before that too, because again he would be like very consistent with it, right, and not like do something radically different. And
Yeah.
and Roger Federer, you know, I mean we're Swiss, so we love Roger. Tennis, one of the best ever. He slept 11 hours every day. Okay, he's a pro and stuff, and you say you can do that. Okay, but it's just like a good story, right? Cristiano Ronaldo speaks a lot about sleep, so very consistent in the sleeping schedule. Okay, so right, so you're not crazy for sleeping 9 hours. You're not crazy. You're an athlete. You're like the top 1% of people. You know what I mean? You're different than everybody else.
Right. Which not everybody knows, but you know. So there you go. Okay, so I am going to get into trainings a little bit, just because, well, this is a big part of tapering. Again, you know, I'm not gonna. I know not everybody tapers yet, but I just kind of wanted to give you guys a feel of what training actually looks like when you're tapering, right? So again, we know we spoke about schedule, so we're gonna keep that same training schedule that you've always had, right? You're not going to be adding sessions. It's too late for that, by the way. The only thing I do with my swimmers is, or we do with our swimmers is, like 6 weeks leading up to the meet, we'll start implementing a Sunday session just for water fueling, right? Because Sunday is also a competition day, usually, okay? So there shouldn't be a day where you don't get water fuel, but it's not going to be like a typical training where, you're going all out and you're vomiting 3 times in the training. Hello, Tenerife. So, right. Get these people scared. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so what happens in the water usually during a taper? Your intensity goes up. Everybody get that? So we're decreasing kilometers, but intensity goes up. So, obviously David and I, we focus a lot on race pace during, regular season, or actually all our trainings are kind of based on that, around that. During tapering, it's even more so, right? If you're missing your 200 splits in 50s or whatnot, you need to do those until you know exactly what needs to be done to hit your target times in a 200, right? The one thing that will change mostly is you will have more rest in between those 50s, or those, I know there's some coaches out there that do hundreds, not us, but it's either going to be 25s for the hundreds, 50s for the 200s, and 400s. And then obviously, everything that is higher, they train completely different anyways. Like if you're preparing for a 1500, you need to do, you need to split that 1500 like 3 times in a training leading up to tapering. But, is there any 1500 swimmers here? I don't think so, right?
Well,
Yeah.
Ellie does open water and stuff. There's a few, but yeah.
Yeah,
But
there's
not
no
like
real tapering for open water except,
mm-mm.
follow the other steps, but you don't decrease your training for open water. Like, no way.
Yep.
Okay. So we're more talking about, pool swimming, I would say up to like 400, where all of this will more or less apply to, for 1500, like 800, 1500 open water, you do not want to decrease your volume. Definitely not. You'll just keep that same volume. Obviously, your muscle fibers are completely different as well, because you're used to. So you're in your race, you're going to be swimming heart rates 150, 160. You're going to maintain that for, if it's a 1500, it's going to be at your age. You look young-ish. Is probably like an 18 minutes thing, right? If it's a 3K, you're whatever at around 40 minutes, right? So you're all about maintaining that heart rate over a longer period of time, right? So for you, training doesn't really change much. For sprinters and so up until 400s, we swim at heart rates of, anything between 180 and 250 is doable. Like, I've seen everything. So there you go. Right. So we really want to make sure that we're comfortable at those heart rates, right? So that's the main focus. That's why intensity goes up. We want to be swimming at those heart rates quite often, but with enough rest in between. Like in between, if we do like 4 times 100 broken, right? Let's say we do the first one is a 75 and a 25. The next one is, actually, we would never do that. So 50 and 225s, 50 225s, 425s and 425s, right? That could be like one of the crazy ideas that I have. But and that's the full training, by the way. Like, there's some technique in there, obviously drills and stuff before that, but yeah. So in between the 50 and the next 25, you would have like 40 seconds, 50 seconds, 1 minute rest, because we want to make sure that next 25, you can attack it full on, good technique, and obviously, yeah, so obviously maintain that focus that you're going to need at the competition, right? So intensity up, we want to train at those heart rates. We also want to focus a lot on technique, right? Because we want to feel great after every training, during the sets, all of that, super important, right? We don't want to ever let go of that feeling. If we don't feel good, we need to tell the coach and get back into feeling great before we go into our broken swims or our high intensity swims. Okay? Because if not, your body gets used to feeling like shit. You'll feel like shit in the race.
I feel like that's an important point.
Super
Goes back to one of the pillars that we always said: if you were doing what we were suggesting to build the open communication channel to your coach, then that should not be a problem, because you can just go to the coach and be like, "Hey, I'm not feeling good," right? So that should never be a problem too. And if it is, you need to invest in that, yeah, into the relationship with the coach. And I'll just point out like one, I mean, like rookie mistake. You guys are not rookies anymore, but like doing taper, even if your coach, so say like you're not getting a full taper, but maybe the coach will start to rest you a little bit, right? Maybe the kilometers decreased in like where there's like more super intensive stuff, more sprinting, and like less of that like really mentally draining kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden you're starting to feel good, especially if you sleep and you take care of the nutrition, and you start to feel really good. And then what you don't want to do is like when it's an aerobic set, which is lower heart rate, to be like, oh, I'm feeling it today, and then start racing everybody else and like over deliver on that endurance set, because like your endurance isn't going to change at all for the next 2 or 3 weeks, right? There's nothing. That's why it takes the body a long time to develop more of those red blood cells, and that's why they go on altitude trainings for 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, because that's when the body will adjust. So in the next 2 or 3 weeks, you're not going to change your endurance capabilities, but what does change is your speed and your tolerance to lactic acid. And so if you start like going faster than what the coach is asking you to, or like start doing drills fast or warm up fast or whatever, all that stuff, like don't do it, because you'll lose energy, and then guess where that energy is going to be missing for that high intensity set that you was just talking about. And then you're just, the aerobic capacity doesn't change, but the speed and the tolerance to lactic acid does. And so you need to like be bang on when you get to that set. Make sense?
Super important, right? Need to make sure that energy is used when you need to use it, and not outside of it, right? Is that clear for like everybody? Yeah, no questions? There's one more thing that I wanted. That was funny. Angela's like doing her eyes or so. Anyway, so applying makeup's fun. Okay, so good. Okay. There's one more thing about training that I wanted to get into. I've had this question a couple of times, like these last couple of weeks, and I just want to cover it here. So some of the older swimmers, right, who already do gym work, like weights, right? They keep asking me, so do I stop doing weights in a taper? What do you think? Do you stop doing weights in a taper after everything that I just said? Rezi, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know, cause like you said to don't change like a lot, cause your body needs to be used to it. But yeah, I think you can like decrease it a little bit, like, but don't stop like at all.
Right. So stop quitting lift weights in the taper is the wrong thing to do, right? So as I said earlier, right, you want to maintain your trainings, you want to maintain, you know, what you've been doing. You don't want to change any of that. You don't want your body to react in a wrong way, right? I'm not saying that it can happen, right? So what happens in the weight room is you will decrease your reps and increase your explosivity work, right? So you won't be doing, you know, anyways, as a swimmer, you shouldn't be doing like anything bodybuilder style, but what you, what you want to do for sure is you want to increase your work on your explosiveness, right? So decrease reps, increase explosiveness. Maybe what you can do is, so people who have done some gym stuff with me or with me and David in the camp, they know, okay, we usually do, you know, one set is gonna be more for strength, and right after that we do something explosive, right? Or we focus on just explosive work. The same thing for tapering. You would want to be working just on explosive stuff, right? But what you don't want to do is not go to the gym. That's wrong. Okay, because your body is used, and the reason is your body is used to swimming with gym loads, and you know, with those fibers that you're using at the gym, so you have that strength going for you. Believe it or not, you know, if you do 1 week no gym, you probably won't see a big difference in your weight and, you know, how strong you feel in the water and whatnot. But if it's after 4 weeks no gym, you will feel a difference, right? And that's what we do not want, because we've been training, getting ready for this competition, and now, you know, we're telling our body, hey, relax. That's not what we want to do, right? So the point being, we want to be recovered, we want to be ready, but what we don't want to be is like, relaxed is the wrong word. Can I say that, David? Like, what we don't want to be relaxed at a competition, right? You don't want to be like, yes, you want to be recovered and you want to be relaxed. Your mind, yes, you want to be there. You know, your mind should be relaxed, but you don't want to be mashed potatoes. You know,
Yeah, overcooked pasta.
Yeah,
You don't want to be that. That's right. That's right.
you know, you want to be like that juicy steak that was on the grill for, you know, 30 seconds on each side. Right?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Does everybody understand what I mean with this? I'll have to look for better wording for next time, but yeah.
Yeah.
Questions?
I was just like the best explanation that I've heard to like explain to somebody who's not in swimming at all is from the coach of Summer McIntosh. What taper is you guys know what a spring is, right? In the bed mattress. So like you like squeeze the spring where as you train, and then taper starts, and it's like a science and an art, right? To like get the point, it starts to like go up, and there's pressure. That's kind of how you want to feel. You want to feel like, yeah, you're loose, but at the same time you're like, what's the word for that? There's still a tension, right? But it's like a positive kind of. Because like don't go to the sauna if you never go to the sauna, right? Don't go to the sauna the night before. If you never do ice baths, don't do it.
Massage, same thing. If you're not going to massage like once a week, don't start doing that 4 weeks before your big meet. Because I can tell you, your body reacts completely different to the water after a massage. Right? And I've seen this 1,000 times. Swimmers never going to massages, then suddenly they're at the Swiss nationals, and you see their backs are full of, you know, the cup thingies where you pull tissue. You try to loosen up tension in your body by loosening up tissue, right? Anti-gravity. Oh my God. And then, you know, they jump in the water and they're like, oh, what is this? I feel like some pudding that just fell into the water, and there's no control of what they're actually doing. right? So you definitely don't want to do that. You want to stay on track with what you've been doing before. If you want to try out massages at your next big meet, it's not going to be this one coming up in Christmas. It's going to be the one next summer, and you'll start with massages in January, right? And then do that for those 6, 7, 8 months. That's hugely important. That's what I'm saying. Keep up with what you have been doing. Your body, if you don't know how your body feels in the water after a massage, I dare you to try it out. Not now, not before your important meets, but try it out for like some unimportant meet. Go to a massage like Friday evening before your meet. Like if it's something regional and you've never done it, try it out. You'll feel so weird in the water. So weird. Right? I'm not saying massages are not good. I'm just saying they're great if you're used to them. And also they don't work for everybody, right? So there's different massages out there. So you need to figure out. The good thing is most of you guys are pretty young. You have time to figure out which massage works for you. But again, figuring it out during tapering is not going to be, that's not going to be effective. Okay.
That was one of the reasons we're like on camp. It would be, somebody had the idea to like, okay, what if we had a massage therapist with us? But then we're like, okay, one of the reasons is also if you guys are not used to having massages, and then all of a sudden you get massages on camp, then you guys are gonna swim like pudding, and that's not what we want on camp. So we're like, okay, we're not gonna do that. We would do that with like older swimmers who are used to it, then it would be very beneficial. But with like, if you're not used to it, which I don't think a lot of people of you are getting massages, right? So it's a very good point. Okay, I'll add mentally.
Yes,
Because
please.
I always like tie it down with like, and also an action step. I would say like really like the entire season, at least like when Yule and I started covering it, but definitely the last month. It's a bit like, but definitely last month, do the visualization every freaking night.
Yeah, visualization should just be every day.
It just should be I agree, but like now it's like if you missed it until now or you were inconsistent, the best that you can do now is just to commit that you're gonna do it every single freaking night for 3 minutes before the meet. And like we have this beautiful, and like the girls are amazing. You got the guys, the men, you guys, Cedric is amazing, but a lot of you guys suck with this. But like again, I'm not forcing you, but like there's this visualization challenge until Christmas that we have, where it's describe what we do, and literally all you do is like you drop it in a comment and you can see some people are very consistent with it. I do it too. Every day I post done. You do it at night, and then the next day you come on a platform and you can help other people level up if you like their post, but do it or don't, and then just comment you did it. Right, that's there for you. We do that until Christmas. And then the other thing is what I want everyone who was on the call to do, probably best when it's fresh, to like in that thread right here, we'll keep it pinned for today, maybe tomorrow, in the comments, write down the one thing that you're going, like you could summarize information and stuff, but it's just information. Like where the magic happens is when you apply this stuff, okay? And I'd rather have you do, because you gave a lot of good information, but take the one or the two things that are the most powerful to you, that resonate the most with you, and share it in the comments of this post here. And say what the thing is that you're going to do differently in this taper or whatever you want to call it, in this preparation to the meet. And then do the thing. Okay? Because like again, when you share it with anybody else or like a whole community, the research shows you're going to be automatically more likely to actually do it. It's not guaranteed, but you're more likely. And we've explained that to you many times, that there is no guarantee in life. I mean, the only guarantee that I can give you, at some point we're all going to go. Okay, sadly. But what we're in the business of is we're doing more of the things that make it more likely that you get what you want, and we do less of the things that make it less likely for you to get what you want, right? So we're stacking the odds in your favor, and we do more of the things that serve you and less of the things that don't serve you, and then ultimately you are in the best possible position to get the thing that you want. Not guaranteed, but chances are incredibly higher. And that's all we can do. Everybody who says differently is lying and is full of shit. And that's why the choices that you make every day, they matter. You vote with the time that you spend, with the choices that you make, with the money. Like I always say, show me your calendar and show me what you spend your money on, and I'll know what your priority is. Especially with adults. You kids probably don't have like a lot of money available to you, but with the adults, you show me your calendar, you show me what you spend your money on, and I'll know exactly what your priority is. You vote, right? And so you guys do the same. With the choices that you make, you vote what's important for you, the actions that you do, right? And so I invite you to join that challenge of visualization, because it's really fucking fun. Oh, sorry for swearing. It's really freaking fun when we do it together.
Yeah, usually we don't swear. It's all good.
No, we don't.
Especially in camp.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Never happens.
Now we gotta hope the horses, man. We mean well, right? We're human beings, imperfect human beings.
Funny. Cool. Questions?
Cool.
Good.
Yeah. And if somebody is in this training, doesn't have access to premium, doesn't know how visualization works, send me a DM on school. I'll unlock it for you for a month. Okay. Free gift. Cool. Yul, thanks for running this. Was that useful, guys? Raise your hand if it was useful. I thought it was useful. Cool. All right. Very good. All right. Then there'll be a bunch of trainings tomorrow as well. I guess we'll see. We'll probably just do coaching on the performance thing with the kids, right? We'll probably just coach and see if there's any last minute fires that we want to put out or something like that. Okay, but we're not going to cover more content.
David, sorry. Are you owing me something from the last call Sunday in regards of training for the butterfly?
Yeah, the confidence and the courage thing. I'll do that tomorrow at
Q&A.
Yeah, in the Q&A. Okay, I'll take my tablet to Egypt and I can draw it out for you. Got it ready already.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, cool.
We haven't forgot.
Thank you, guys.
Sure.
Awesome. Then have a lovely Saturday evening. Thank you. And I'll see you tomorrow next week. Yeah.
Nice to see everybody and talk soon.